Welcome back to Philippines Uncut. I'm Buddy Cunanan. Tonight's topic is cultural diversity and development. And joining us is Director of Earth Savers UNESCO Artist for Peace, Mrs. Cecil Guido Alvarez. Welcome back, Ms. Alvarez, to our last segment. But a very nice discussion about art as a form, as a means for social change, a power to change society, change people, no?
Well, cultural diversity, think of this. UNESCO has what it calls a Mother Tongue Day, you know,
Nice.
and we have 110 indigenous communities, and each one has their own language for expression of their identity, of communicating among themselves. It's a tool for education as well. That's why now in our K-12, the first from kinder to grade 3, you use your mother tongue as your means for communication and education. So the problem has been in our educational system, we have not brought into our consciousness growing up multiculturalism, you know, cultural pluralism.
Yes, yes.
Our educational system has not integrated all the values, all the beautiful traditions coming from all these different regions.
That's true.
So if you don't have that to formulate your spine of a national identity, hiwalay sila. So pinaghihiwalay ang Muslim, pinaghihiwalay ang Kristiyano, iba yung mga taga-bundok, iba yung taga-ano.
That's true po. You know, growing up, you know, reflecting, looking back at my own education, there was a little bit of that, a little bit maybe in some, like we had a week, like a regional week like that, but that was it. But not in the same, there was no real understanding.
And that's the failure, cultural understanding. Because, for instance, in our performances, we don't have performances without including a Muslim performer or even any of our indigenous groups. You've got to give that portrait, that picture. That's why even UNESCO has a Cultural Diversity Day, Biological Diversity Day, and you have to twin biocultural diversity. Yes. You know, people think it's separate. So this stress on language, you know, appreciation of language means you respect the distinct indigenous communities. Even when you talk of our Muslim brothers, you can't just say ito lang, di ba? Dahil nila may Maguindanao, may Maranao, may Tausug, etc. Our indigenous communities, ang dai-dai rin yan. Doon lang sa Cordillera, may Bontoc, may Ifugao, may Kalinga. Pero kung mayayakap mo lahat yan, if you have a strain, then the culture scape is complete. What's happening in our educational system is we have superimposed the culture outside, you know. Kulang. Buddy, I'm telling you, if I asked you how many indigenous communities you can name, you will name more U.S. states.
You're probably right.
And that's what's going to happen to all of the kids because there's no real understanding. And, you know, I haven't, hindi pwedeng memorization lang.
I haven't, to my recollection, there has been an administration in power that has actually pushed this as an agenda, no? This kind of awareness, this kind of national, regional awareness to bring the nation together. I can't think of any administration that's pushed it. It's
culture and cultural education. And that's a missing ingredient. And that's why that's important to be really, you ask the teachers, pwede ba ituro nyo ito? Eh wala ho kaming materials, sasabihin rin nila. So if I've been trying to propose that all the state universities, we have 110 state universities, if each state university just adopts one indigenous community, becomes the cultural bank, instantly everybody can study this and you mold the curriculum and you can share it and you can graduate it and find varied expressions. And we're so great in the arts. All these artistic expressions, when you seed it or when you ground it with the wealth of our traditions, my gosh.
How do we get the leaders interested in this kind of thing? I mean, that's the key, really.
I want to thank, for instance, we were able to get from Congress, the Magdalo group.
Really?
Yeah, Congressman
Good, well,
Alejano
I mean, it's so
and
nice to know.
Azidilia, they did a radio
Magdalo group.
resolution, yeah.
Oh.
And in the Senate, Cynthia Villar did the counterpart.
Okay.
There is also now Congressman Tino naman sa mga teachers who's with ACT agreed to do the basis of the UNESCO resolution for multilingualism, or the Mother Tongue Day, you know. So there is, actually the legislators have to be very active on this thing. Yes. We were talking with Gina De Venecia, Congresswoman Gina De Venecia, who heads the Women Legislators Association.
Yes.
We honestly believe we're with the International Theatre Institute, and it's been approved. And the list of, or the Assembly of Goodwill Ambassadors and Artists for Peace of UNESCO have agreed to this concept of addressing armed conflict or in conflicted areas using the arts as a medium to temper the decibel of possible conflagratory dialogue and aggressive behavior. So for the conflict on the China Sea, we're having a music theater peace concert that would be having participants from the claimant countries. So that means including China, you have Taiwan, of course, our country, Vietnam, Malaysia, even Japan, where they had an eyeball-to-eyeball confrontation. You know that America used the tennis diplomacy, right,
yes,
when it was breaking the ice with China.
And so now they're trying to do the same thing.
Well, we hope we're initiating this
South
as a UNESCO Artist for Peace.
What about in Mindanao with the current problem?
Well, in Mindanao, we're hoping that we wanted to do a healing workshop. The sister of an SVD priest who works in Smoky Mountains. We were discussing how to work out this, this healing arts session, because they're in the area of of the armed conflict. So a lot of the children are the ones affected, impacted, and you have to give them this healing process and this openness to embrace.
I hope that your group can also reach out to the families of the 44, because it must be
definitely
very traumatic. I mean, we also the videos, we also the photos. If you were the children or the spouse of those, you would be very, very scarred. No,
I was crying. I was really crying when it was piercing my heart when I was hearing the wailing of the mothers and the widows, you know, because during martial law, it just recharged my memory. We were in exile, but Sonny's brother was tortured and killed.
Marsman.
Yeah, Marsman Alvarez.
Yes.
And he was really thrown in a churchyard, and because what they did with the SAF people who were really disfigured, the brutal killing,
absolutely.
They had to close also the casket, you know.
Because 27 out of 44 were
all disfigured. So I had my mother-in-law. I guess all mothers want that. They want to embrace the child, you know. She was insisting on opening it, and they opened it, and instantly she turned gray hair and became, for a while, catatonic.
Yes.
So, I mean, I can understand all this agony and this grief, and there must be this
I hope that you can reach out to your group and reach out to them.
We're hoping we can make these arrangements. We hope that the agencies on the peace process and the SWD can, we're willing to access our creative teams, our cultural caregiving
Ms. Alvarez, we have about 5 minutes to close. I understand that there are a slew interesting projects and events you have planned for this year.
Yeah,
Can you
well,
tell us a bit about some of them?
we have to congratulate you're the Consul of Georgia for the first time now. There is an Artist for Peace
From
just
Georgia,
declared
yes.
from Georgia, who's a pianist, and maybe we can.
We'll try to bring him here,
we're working
yes.
out all kinds of collaboration with company of Artists for Peace that have been declared by UNESCO around the world. In fact, when we were in Lima, Peru for the Ocean International Security Conference, we had an intercultural thing, painting, South-South dialogue. Now, during Lent, we're involved also with the office of my husband for their interfaith dialogue, and they have this fast for Mother Earth.
Oh, nice.
Especially to climax with Earth Day, but during Lent and Holy Week. And then, of course, it's World Theater Month. So we have what we call Theater Festival Without Borders, because we use Radyo Balintataw to share all of these plays or drama about ourselves from different continents to get to know each other and know these things. We hope that there will be this Asian Women Parliamentary meeting that can be presided by the UNESCO Director General through the co-hosting of the women legislators in the House and probably in the Senate. We've talked also with Senator Cynthia Villar, so because it's very important that women take the leadership now also in the implementation, from the MDGs, the UN has gone into the post-2015 Sustainable Development Agenda.
Yes.
So we're busy with that. For persons with disabilities, we hope we can replicate or echo for the ASEAN region, because the Philippines is been declared as the International Theater Institute Council for ASEAN and Dialogue Partners. So this was held in India. We'll reprise it here, but fusing arts with technology. So there are many issues that will be done, and of course, we're connected with the peace process. It's the 70th anniversary of UNESCO.
Yes, yes.
That's really the key issue, and of course, confronting climate change. That's why you had your conversation with regard even to the presence of President Hollande, that was having a conscience call to all of the leaders of the world to do that global deal.
Yes.
The Noah's Ark
in Paris.
that we need.
Yes.
Yeah, in Paris. So we'll be doing a
Yes.
tricontinental program again in Paris.
For more information about all these projects, where can people go?
Yeah, please.
Well, perhaps you would like to say something to the audience, because we have closed in about 30 seconds, but
okay.
might as well make it part of your spiel.
Well, we'd really like to hope that this remembrance of EDSA, this Heart Month remembrance, this issue about cultural diversity with language and the use of communications would really be a tool for us to bring back the sense of caring and unity that is so necessary to really displace greed. It's a question of transposition, of transformation, and it is possible. Change is possible. There's nothing that is impossible. Everything can be achieved if the bottom line is the common good. Yung pagmamalasakit po, yung pagmamahalan, yung pagmamahal sa bayan, yung pananalig rin sa Panginoon o sa kung sino mang nakatataas na maaring tumulong sa atin. And that sense of perseverance, that triumph of the Spirit, we need it, we can do it.
You will do it.
We will do it. And the arts is a very important tool.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Ms. Alvarez, for coming to the show. Always a pleasure.
You.
And rest assured that we will be covering all these events.
Yeah.
And you'll be our guest here so we can share with the audience and all our viewers
And I hope
wonderful news.
all of us can be heroes. We remember our heroes, We always try to make sure that their lives have a sense of connection with us. But we have contemporary heroes. We just have the SAF 44, and there are many more. And you don't even have to die to be a hero or a heroine.
We can all be heroes. You just have to catch us at the right time.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Alvarez. God bless you, and more power to you, and of course, Senator Alvarez. Thank you very much. And guys, I hope you enjoyed our twin topics tonight. Join us again next week here in the show where we talk about what matters to you guys, because you guys matter the most. See you next week.